Alright, so we got everything hooked up here. We got the plug wires hooked up. Got fuel line supply and return running to the jug. We got the back of this thing jacked up. Now the radiator we got in here, it was the factory radiator and it is leaking. So I've got another radiator in the shop, but I wanted to see if this one was any good, and it's not. So anyhow, let's see if we can crank this bad boy up. We already set all the parameters in the computer, so we got all that ready. We got a little switch wire hooked up over here going to the distributor and going to the battery. We got fuel pressure. I can hear the pump. All right, we got to wire the solenoid here. So hang on a second. Alright, hold on now. We're gonna have to idle this thing up because we got this cam we got to break in. So let's see. We done blowed something all over the engine. Looks like the transmission cooler's leaking too. Might have a little bit too much timing. Hang on a second. Alright, we're going to put a battery on charge. I thought I'd charged it up enough, but evidently I didn't. What in the world? I guess the transmission cooler's leaking and that's blowing transmission fluid all over everywhere. So I guess while we're charging the battery up, we'll change that radiator out. I got a transmission leak bad. Blowing transmission fluid everywhere. Let me fix that. I think I got the cam pretty much broke in. I got a header leak on this number 2 cylinder. Got a water leak on that plug right there. Don't have Teflon on it. I think I'm leaking around this upper radiator hose right here. God, that header leak is terrible. Alright, so like I said, I had a transmission cooler leak. It was leaking at this top fitting, which don't look stripped, but it feels like it stripped my radiator out, which don't make sense because it threaded all the way in by hand. I just tightened up the last little bit of it, so I don't get that. But anyhow, this is a 3-core radiator, and the other one's a 4-core. I think I got one more 4-core radiator around here I might try out. So I'd really like to have a 4-core radiator in this thing. So I'm going to have to get a header gasket for sure. And like I said, I cut to fit these radiator hoses when I get the cab on. So we'll see how that goes. It's coolant leaking. There's some coolant running down over here too. Where's it coming from? So it was running and the charging system's not hooked up, so it run my battery down again. I can't crank it back up. I got it on charging now. But the EFI cranked right up and didn't have any issues. My issues are strictly mechanical. So we'll see if we can't work my little mechanical bugs out. Like I said, I think I got another 4-core radiator that I'm gonna try in here and see if it'll work. The only thing is this radiator and the 3-core that come out of it had the bottom hose go, or the bottom outlet goes up, and this one here, it's like barely clearing the frame right there, that kick up right there. And I don't know if a straight hose is going to clear that or not. We'll have to see. But we got it cranked up and got the cam run in, and that's what I really was after. So we'll get this mess cleaned up and try to get my coolant leaks straightened out, which I know that one there's because it's no Teflon. That hose clamp probably wasn't tight. Like I said, I need to get 2 new hose clamps. That coolant's block off right there, and it's supposed to have a gasket, but the gasket was broke, so that didn't help any. But we'll get it worked out. Like I said, get a header gasket. I don't know why the bolts were tight on that header there, on that tube. I don't know why it's leaking right there. Might have to double it up or something. I got some more gaskets in the shop, but I don't know if they kind of fit funny, so I don't know. We'll see. I mean, I like the way they look, but the way they fit, I wasn't quite sold on the way they fit, so we'll have to see how that goes. But we'll definitely have to get that straightened out. Doesn't look like anything is going to be touching anywhere. So anyhow, y'all stay tuned and I'll show you more. But hey, I'm about ready to put the cab on this thing. I get these little details ironed out, and put the heater core in the cab and get the fuel tank in the cab, and this thing's ready to go together. All right, y'all stay tuned.